it's hard to take advice from someone who's never had kids.
This is your third and last, or you're going for more?
I'm going again.
You're going again?
It's like the typical movie where you see the woman in the car and she's and he's in the house taking up everything, and I'm like, babe, the baby come. Here one thing fly off of the roof. I would turn to my husband and say, babe, I think that's enough.
Hi, mamas and friends. Welcome to another episode of Memories and Motherhood. I'm Whitney, your favorite baby photographer and host. Now, you may be wondering, why are we in a different place? And I promise there's a reason for it. And before we dive in, though, I just want to say that this podcast is brought to you by Little Memories JA, where little moments last a lifetime. From maternity to newborns, anything, we capture the moments that last a lifetime. Now, our guest for today is Stacy Ann Brown Johnson, and Stacy definitely has a story. Now, before we get to this point, we interviewed Stacy when she was baking her third baby, and we just want to throw back to that point before we get to our current day situation and dive into why we're talking to Stacy today. So let's go with that. Hi, mamas and friends. Welcome to another episode of the Memories and Motherhood podcast. I'm Whitney, your favorite baby and family photographer and your host. Before we dive in, I just want to remind you, make sure that you're liking, subscribing, and following us, especially putting that notification bell on so that you can know when we have a new episode. Welcome to Memories and Motherhood, Stacy. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. No, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate. We know that it's not the most comfortable time for you right now, but we appreciate you being here. And I'm so excited about what we're about to talk about because, when you showed up on social media like, "Hey, I'm pregnant again," everybody's probably like, really? So we're definitely going to be talking about your experience. Mm-hmm. But before we dive in, let's play a little game, right? So it's called Mama Truth or Myth. So you're basically going to be telling me if the statement that I'm making is a truth or a myth, right?
Okay.
So first statement, you can't get pregnant while breastfeeding.
Myth.
Your body needs at least a full year to fully recover before the next pregnancy.
I think that's a truth. Yeah, that's a truth.
Back-to-back pregnancies are always harder than the first.
For me, myth.
Morning sickness is worse the second time round.
Myth.
You're too tired to enjoy the second pregnancy when it comes so soon.
Myth.
Back-to-back pregnancies put more strain on your mental health than your physical health.
Personally, myth.
Okay. Family and friends judge moms more when pregnancies are close together.
Truth.
All right.
Truth.
Back-to-back pregnancies mean you don't have to buy new baby gear.
Truth.
Especially if they're boy and a boy again, all right?
Truth.
All right. So, Stacy, how did you find out? What was your initial reaction to being pregnant again?
I was happy, genuinely, because we were trying. And when I even look back on the specific date that I may have more than likely conceived, it was actually on my birthday. So I just consider this baby my birthday present.
Awesome. All right. So before we go any further, let's talk about your children. All right. So we have Abriel. By the way, Abriel is my baby's name twin. So we have Abriel, who is 11, right? And we have Micah, who is 1. So you're now going to be a third-time mom. And this is basically a year after that you're going to have your third baby. So was this baby a surprise baby or a planned baby?
Planned.
So definitely planned. Awesome. So what was your partner's reaction?
He's happy. He loves children. I think he's one of those men that when you look at them, you know they're destined to be a father. And he grew up in a large family, one of those household that has a lot of cousins and siblings, and I did as well because my grandmother has 5 boys and 5 girls.
Okay.
So we both come from a family of a big family, each of us. So we want that for ourselves, not too large, but yeah, he's pretty excited.
Awesome. So you're both from big families, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you were growing up, how many children did you imagine you would have?
I didn't really think that far, to be honest. Maybe like 2 or 3, thereabouts. Yeah, thereabout. Yeah.
Okay. So this is your third and last, or you're going for more?
I'm going again.
You're going again? How long
I need
after?
another girl.
You need the girl.
The way I look at it,
Mm-hmm.
I think when it happens, it happens. The fact that I'm married and I'm with a very supportive partner, and we both are of the mentality where no matter what, we're going to take care of each other and our children. I'm not really worried about taking care of them physically, mentally, financially. So, if the child comes, the child will come when the time is right. God always provide.
God always provide, but I gotta hand it to you. You're a super mom for doing this because, girl, me couldn't imagine myself being pregnant now because I'm just learning how to sleep again. Oh, by the way, are you sleeping?
Yeah.
You're sleeping? That's very good. That's
And
very
I take
good.
naps during the day as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't do that. So I'm always on the go. But when you get to the point now where you are anticipating another baby with a toddler, what is your main concern, or what do you have anxiety about?
I'm concerned about the breastfeeding aspect. For so far, both kids have stopped breastfeeding on their own, but at different times. Abril stopped when she was 2 years old, and Micah stopped when he was 4. But I'm worried now when this baby comes, will Micah get jealous and start want to breastfeed again? And how would that dynamic be? Breastfeeding both of them. So that's really the main fear. Yeah.
Was there any judgment or any specific concern from other people finding out that you were pregnant again so soon?
I would say just one person. And she was like, if I knew you were going to do this, I would have told you not to. But it's hard to take advice from someone who's never had kids. But that was the only person. And it's weird because it's someone who's very supportive. But I guess, she doesn't know what it's like. So it was just like a loving concern, and it wasn't like a drawn out. She's like, and then that was it.
Okay.
But outside of that, no. Mommy excited, everybody is excited.
Awesome. You live in Jamaica, but your husband doesn't live in Jamaica. How does that work in terms of you having another baby and a toddler?
Well, he provides a lot of support financially. So, for example, if I don't have the energy to do like a shoot or something, I have that privilege to stay home and rest. And I do have a lot of support otherwise. We have a lot of mutual friends that do help in any capacity that I need. And when the baby does come, he'll be on paternal leave, and then he'll hand things over to my mom.
Awesome. So the village is definitely helping out or gonna help out in that sense.
They have been so far, and they've proven their what you call it, loyalty. They've proven their loyalty and their dedication.
Awesome. What are some of the symptoms in this pregnancy that's totally different from your last?
The nausea. Not throwing up, but the nausea. I never really experienced it in previous pregnancies, not with Abril, not with Micah. But this time around, in the first trimester, I noticed that not constantly, but a lot of the time, I felt like I wanted to throw up. But once I figured out a way to manage it, because Groval never helped or anything, I actually had to get like a bracelet with the electroshock therapy. So when I feel it, I just turn it on, and depending on the intensity, I just turn it up to get rid of it. And then after a while, I just never felt it. Okay. Outside of that, no issues.
Awesome. So what is so different about this pregnancy compared to your last?
I have 2 kids that I have to protect my belly from. Because sometimes Abrielle forgets that I'm pregnant. Like, she'll come and sit in my lap, and then you see the knee. I'm like, remember, there's a baby in there. Micah comes, and Micah uses me like a donkey. But I think there have been in the middle part of it, because I'm on the last stretch now. In the middle part of it, there were some, I would say, emotional, I wouldn't say turmoil, but just transitioning things in my brain, because Micah can be a handful.
I can imagine.
And, but every child, I believe, when you have a routine for yourself, they become a part of that routine. So I'm with the parents on Instagram who say, look here, you don't change your life for the child adjusts to your lifestyle, and that is how you make the family cohesive. So I have had that with him, where I know, okay, he'll nap at this time, and it's to a point now where Micah will see me exhausted and come to me, hug me, and pull me into the bedroom to get me to sleep. So I'd say the challenge was to just get to this point, and I think he's developing really fast and being very understanding for his little age. So I can say I'm very blessed with the children that I have. I can't, like, when I look at some other moms and they're experiencing certain pregnancies, I feel so bad for them, but I am very, very lucky. And I sense myself, I saw myself getting impatient at some point.
I can imagine.
When the house is messy or stuff like that. But I think even with Abrielle, she will sense when I'm overstimulated, and she'll just, like, for example, the other day I came in and I had a really long day, and she from before we went into the house, she was saying, Mommy, I'm hungry, and I said, all right, when I get in, I'll make something for you, because I love cooking for my family. As we reach in, she just said, Mommy, I'm no longer hungry. And I'm like, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah.
And I said to her, I'll be up in a minute, because I usually just send them to the bedroom and I stay downstairs and edit. So I was downstairs editing, and then randomly she's like, Mommy, your surprise is ready. And I said, surprise? But she said, I have a surprise for you. So I go up there, and she sweep out the room, she take up all of Micah's toys.
That's so nice.
She put him to sleep. Mm-hmm. She make up the bed and everything. And she was like, I'm actually really hungry, but I just wanted to make sure that the place was clean for you. So she senses whenever I'm overstimulated, and she'll try to do these little things
to make the load lighter.
Yeah. And I think she kind of developed that from my husband as well, because he can sense it as well. So now Micah seeing the support that my husband gives me, and just going off subtle clues, just seeing me struggling to keep awake, he's now developed that by watching my husband and by watching Abrielle doing certain things whenever they see me, hey, mommy kind of tired, and mommy need a break. Let me just help her in some way.
Yeah. So what's the mental load like especially the fact that you have to be parenting while you're pregnant. I mean, you said that sometimes you're overstimulated, sometimes you're touched out. I mean, you're a photographer as well, so you go for the entire day and it's very physically demanding. But when you get home, for instance, and you have Abriel, who's an older child, she's 11, and I mean, she's in primary school, and you have Micah, who's a toddler who hasn't gotten to that stage yet. How do you balance parenting both of them at the same time?
Well, Abriel is a gem. Abriel is an old soul. A lot of persons have always said it to me, and I do genuinely believe that she is. She's never been the child from day one that you have to. I've never had to slap Abriel. I've never had to correct her more than once to say, hey, Micah doesn't listen to me, he listens to her.
Okay.
So, for example, when I get in, it depends on how overwhelmed I am in terms of exhaustion. I'll get home and I'll make dinner, and Abriel will have Micah. Best believe by the time I finish cooking, Micah is asleep.
Okay. So Abriel is definitely in the big sister role.
And I think being able to do photography and have my own business is an aspect of it that helps a lot with the mental load, because a lot of times moms tend to lose themselves in motherhood.
Yes.
And I really appreciate the fact that I have such a supportive family, such a supportive husband, where I am privileged enough to say, all right, I can set my own schedule, and I try to set my schedule around my kids as much as possible. So if Abriel has something important, that day is locked off because she deserves that support. Likewise with Micah. But going to work doesn't feel like work for me. I imagine if it was another situation where I had to do a 9 to 5 and I'm working for somebody else and I have to do, I think I would not have this perspective. But it makes me feel empowered as a woman, as a business owner, to come home from my business and leave work when I want to leave work, come home and just spend time with my family and choose to do work when I want to do it. So it's not as overwhelming as a lot of people think, because a lot of people are like, take the break. And I'm like, the thing is, a lot of persons don't know that I can take the breaks.
Yes.
But you're a fellow photographer,
Of course. And that's why I'm smiling, because it's just something that is so genuinely enjoyable, that every day gives you a different experience, and when you go home you feel full more rather than tired. I mean, when you're about to hit the bed, that is when the tiredness really comes. But I'm happy you said that, because when you truly get that freedom, and for me too, it is so important, because, and that is what I think has saved me, because I consider that I've been on a maternity leave for a whole year, and probably still on a short maternity leave, because I don't come to work every day. And as I say, you can set your schedule, and if something is important, something is important. If the child is sick, then that comes before everything else. Whereas you have to call a boss and say, boss, me can't come in today, and your boss might be upset with you. I mean, and we both deal with a lot of children as well as a lot of moms and parents, people like that. So, I mean, if you call somebody and you say, my child is sick today, then I'm sure they exercise that understanding. And you also work with your children with you sometimes. So how does that go? How is that process?
It works, I guess. As I said, they don't really give trouble. So I'm blessed in that regard.
Yes.
The most Micah will do is, if it is a little ladies man. So he tends to get close to my clients. And that with that reason is like sometimes they don't want to leave the studio.
Yeah.
They want to play with him. But I honestly don't have any issues. And then on top of that, to where my studio is, it's called the Artisan Village. And when I say it takes a village to raise a child, majority of the time Micah not even in the studio.
So the whole village know Micah.
The whole village. Somebody come and say, all right, I'll buy a drinks for him, or here's a popsicle for him, and sometimes I don't even know him somebody come, where's Micah? I said, boy, you know, so XYZ, just take him. I don't know.
So you have a lot of help, and that comes in very handy because you don't even have to pay a babysitter. You don't need a nanny, nothing like that. And that's so good. And girl, I'm so happy for you because, you know, a lot of times people will see you posting online, or people will see certain things and they think that, oh, this is just your highlight reel. Like, this is not how your life really is. And also people judge you too, not knowing that, okay, you know, I'm pregnant again, but I actually planned this. This is what I actually want. Because sometimes people may think that, why should I do that to herself? Like, why would you do that? Because personally, I wouldn't. But that doesn't mean that that should be your circumstance or whatever. And as you said, maybe your friend said that, but they said it out of love because it's just not their circumstance. So I want to know, Stacy, looking forward to having a baby. You're going to be having a newborn very soon. You have a helpful 11-year-old, which is good, and you also have a toddler. Now, in the initial stages, by the way, when you're raising a baby, what is your least favorite part?
Pumping.
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 The pumping.
Oh my God. The pumping aspect of it.
Yes.
That's really it. And I had a C-section with Micah. So because this pregnancy is so close, I'll have to have another C-section.
Yes.
So there's going to be that recovery aspect of it. But one thing that I'm excited for is getting the double stroller.
For Micah and the baby.
For Micah and the baby, because if it's one thing, fitness is always important to me. Because as photographers, we have to stoop, we have to squat, we have to climb, we have to do all these things. So I try to make sure that I am physically in shape. And I think that aspect of it too has helped with raising Micah. Because now the schedule is, all right, when you go on the road, I push you around in the stroller. It's cool in the morning, and I go out very early, like 6 a.m. thereabout. So now, on times when Abriel doesn't have school, I'll do that. When she does have school, it's still the same, where I'll take her to get to school, and then Micah will just come home and drop asleep.
Yeah. So the freedom definitely work a lot for you.
The freedom is there. As I say, I'm very blessed, and to be honest, it's because of the experience so far why I guess I'm not so nervous now, because I know that with Micah, I was very worried because you see a lot of things on social media where nowadays all these women are like, oh, when you have a child, you have a husband, and you have to give up your life, and you have to give up your goals and your dreams. And I was scared about that. And, you know, the good thing about having a loving partner and someone that you can communicate with, I did share those fears with him. And I said, babe, you know, how will my business be affected? How will my photography be affected with Micah coming into the picture? And he has always, he's a problem solver husband, where the moment you say this is a concern,
yes,
he'll say, okay, well, this is what can be done. And it's someone who I'll share a fear or I'll share something and I'll forget about it, and he doesn't.
Yeah, so he already has it covered.
He already has it covered, and he has proven time and time again he's not a talker, he's a doer. Always has been, and I have faith that he always will be. So I said, you know, I don't know how it will be with this baby. I know my mommy will be in, because she's not on the island, but she's going to be flying in. So I shared my concern, you know, when I have shoots and stuff. It's easy when it's one child, but with the baby now, how is that going to work? And I said, look, if I have to get a second job for us to afford a nanny, just so you can continue to do your photography and continue to do, you know, live out your dreams.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to stop you from doing what you want to do. So it's just, I feel supported, and I have been supported, and I know that I will be supported. So I don't feel, I'm just excited to meet the baby. and just watch how he will be integrated with his siblings.
Yeah.
His or her, I don't know.
So let's talk about that, because when you were pregnant with Micah, you were sure that it was a girl.
2 ultrasounds, the doctor said it's a girl. And then when I woke up out of the, like,
The
they
C-section.
put me into the C-section, and like literally as I opened my eye, I'm still groggy. The doctor was like, "What kind of baby I tell you getting again?" And I said, "A girl." And he's like, "Well, you have a beautiful baby boy." But honestly, I thought it was a prank because, you know, them people there would just love the trouble. But when I went down back to the nurses, and the nurses were like, "Why you have so much purple and pink?" I said, "What do you mean?" It's like, "But you have so much." I said, "Oh, it really is a boy."
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was your reaction?
I was shocked. But at the same time, you know, when deep down you want something. My husband wanted a girl. I've always had a girl, so it's just a case where it's what I'm used to. It's not that I never wanted a boy, but I was used to having a girl and I know how to deal with a girl. So becoming a boy mom and I hear all these stories, I'm like, Lord God, how am I going to manage?
Yeah.
And it was the same thing finding out that this one is a boy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how am I going to manage? But, you know, more than one person has said to me, they said, look, your husband is an amazing man and we need more men
Like him.
in the world like him. And when I look at it, I say, you know what? It's the same story. When I heard stories about him when he was Micah's age, I never believed them until I start seeing Micah do them.
Really? What kind of stories like that?
What the last thing I heard? When he was 2, he climbed into a tree and jumped out of the tree barefoot, and he broke a bottle
Wow.
with his bare feet and was walking around with the bloody foot. And he went to the doctor again, and the doctor was so tired of seeing him that he didn't use any we call it anesthesia. Didn't use any anesthesia to stitch him. Just want him say, "No, I'm gonna make you stop come. I'm going to stitch you up without anesthesia." And him just not blinking, him just take it.
Wow.
One day I don't remember what broke, and you know how babies are, them always all over the place. I said bloody footprints. Micah stepped on a piece of glass.
Wow.
And it was like it was nothing to him.
So Micah has the same fearlessness as his dad.
Fearlessness, same wanting to pull things down and put them back together. Because his dad's nickname is Wrecker.
Oh.
Simply because he wrecked everything
Yes.
and put it back together.
Yeah.
And now my husband is my plumber, my husband is my mechanic, he's everything.
Yeah.
So he's very resourceful. So when Micah gets to becoming a man, he will have a lot of knowledge because of the inquisitiveness and the braveness that he has. He has a lot of courage.
Do you feel like society gives space or makes space in terms of whether it's the judgment or anything like that for moms who choose? I mean, sometimes it may be a buck up or a surprise. But how do you think society responds to women who are experiencing back-to-back pregnancies?
I personally haven't had, as I said, to my face, I can't guarantee what has been said behind my back because I know probably there are persons out there who have some level of negativity. And I know on social media, like, especially the women are saying, oh, you know, you're going to lose yourself, you're going to lose, you know, you're not going to be able to do your business. That's how people are online, not towards me. But personally, as I said to my face, I haven't had any negative experiences. A lot of persons say I wear pregnancy well, and I thank you for that. But I think at the end of the day, there will always be someone that has something negative to say. And I think a lot of times why us as moms suffer is because we pay attention too much to what others think rather than staying in the bubble that we have, because your family is your support system.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what Tom, Dick, and Harry have to say about you becoming pregnant. So I know my husband is very supportive and is the type of person where he will work 12-hour shifts 7 days a week and come down, and before he's here, I'm like, babe, I say, I can manage to clean the house before you come.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes and he cleans it. And when he's leaving, he cleans again to make sure that,
Yeah.
everything is okay when he leaves.
So it's definitely top tier, or should I say, it's definitely important to have a supportive partner, because I can imagine that if you have that support very close to you, then you don't even worry. You're not even concerned about the support out the road, because you already have what you need right within your space.
And imagine it's a long distance, quote unquote, marriage.
Yes.
And imagine if he was actually constantly here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy for you with that. But what do you wish some people understood, or what is something that you wish more people understood about this experience that you're having? If you could say this to somebody who probably they're questioning or they're in their judgment, what would you say to them?
I would say, as the people in America say, my body, my choice. I'd say it's my choice, or our choice. It wasn't an accident, and I think at the end of the day, we as humans, we tend to be very judgmental. However, we need to understand that the perspective that we see is not the full perspective. And instead of the concerns that you may have, instead of voicing those concerns, especially with new moms, sometimes some of us, I haven't experienced it. I haven't experienced the postpartum depression.
Right.
I personally haven't experienced it. However, I have a lot of friends who have, and I think it's important to choose your words, and instead of voicing concerns, be more observant to say, all right, you know what? I worry she's going to be burnt out. But instead of saying, you're not going to burn out, you're not going to tired, all these things go happen, you're going to put fear into that person's mind. So instead of voicing it, if you have a concern, look out for signs of it actually coming to fruition. And instead of stating it, show up for that person. I have friends who say, because I'm not the type of person who will, I'll share with my husband, hey, I'm exhausted or whatever. But in terms of my friends, they don't know. They have to watch keenly.
Yeah.
Or they'll pick up on it. So they're like, say, dropping on the spirit. Yeah, all right. So I had a friend where she realizes I was really tired. And instead of saying, oh, you need for resting into this, she showed up.
Yes.
She just showed up at my house one day and she helped out. She kept my cup the whole time. And she just showed support. I have other friends who will just randomly say, hey, are you able to accommodate me? And I said, boy, I don't know, because friends tend to talk. I said, don't worry, we just come to make you sleep.
Yes.
And me and Micah, we're going to be downstairs and playing. So don't be quick to be judgmental. And it's understandable that, as I say, you'll have your concerns. But if you truly love someone, it's important to just be observant and step in when you can.
Yeah. So be the voice of support more than the voice of judgment. And that is so important. Now, for another mom who may have just found out that she's pregnant again, because, hey, this can be terrifying, especially if it wasn't planned. What would you say to this mom who has just found out that she's pregnant again after just having a baby?
Well, I've seen a lot of videos like that on social media, and the moms, once they see the pregnancy positive, they start crying.
Yeah.
But the husband is always there to help them. But I think about the situation where what if they don't have
The
a supportive partner. And just because you have a partner doesn't mean that they're going to be supportive.
True.
So thinking about those persons where it's the worst of the worst situation, I would say it will be hard, but as cliche as it sounds, God doesn't give you more than what you can bear. But there are those who are there who are willing to help. And what I realize with a lot of us as moms too, we are afraid to ask for help because there are persons there who are willing to offer the help.
Yes.
But we're not. We feel as if we are being a burden.
True.
But you're not a burden, and a lot of times, believe it or not, these persons are genuinely just waiting for you to say, "Hey, you want? Can I get some help, please? Can I get some help with this?" And yeah, you're not taking advantage of the person. You genuinely need it. So ask for the help when you need it, and there will always be somebody. I'm not saying that people don't have their own lives, but if it's somebody that genuinely cares, all of them say, boy, so make them come to the best believe they're going to show up in the week when they can show up for you. So allow people to show up for you. Not because the people that you want to, for example, your partner, not showing up. Allow the persons who want to show up for you, and you have to give them a chance, because if they don't know, and you have some persons who will say, well, if they want to show up, they want to show up. But they can't do what they don't know that they need.
Yeah, that's so key. That's so important. Now, what about this pregnancy? That, I mean, there may be some unexpected moments or some little, experiences that you've had. What about it has been the most exhilarating part for you?
The photo shoots.
I was about to ask about the memories. What are you capturing in this season that you're so amazed by?
No, but I said photo shoots for me.
For you.
Yeah.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. What are you most amazed about that you've been capturing in this season of your life?
I don't know. I just feel beautiful. I feel beautiful inside and out. I don't take for granted that a lot of persons look at it and think that it's hard. But for me personally, if I'm going to put it myself, this is not the worst experience I've ever had in my life. And I feel confident. So being able to, I feel like a hot girl, honestly.
And you look hot. You look good. You look good.
I feel like a hot girl. Cause like I don't have any acne.
Yeah.
I have energy once I have to make sure that I eat properly and sleep properly. But once I do that, I have energy. I can stoop. I can do all these things. I would say that I have a very privileged pregnancy, and I tend to have privileged pregnancies. So when a photographer reach out and say, can I get a maternity photo with you? I'm like, sure. But I'm gonna feel like, I don't know.
So you're just showing up.
I'm just happy.
And this pregnancy.
I think this is the happiest pregnancy I've ever had. Even though some people say, we have 2 kids in it.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly feel like this is the happiest pregnancy I've personally ever had. Because even with Micah, my husband and I were married when he was born. We got married after.
Yes.
But I think even that, having that milestone, it's just milestone after milestone of happy things, and this is just another one.
So it's not enough. It's just the icing on the cake, basically. Awesome. Now, Stacy, you're a photographer, but just tell me, as best as you can, how important is it for you to have memories captured, whether of yourself, of your family? How important is it?
Well, it is extremely important, because even, for example, you have OneDrive and Google Photos. I have taken so many photos of Abriel from she was a baby to know, sleeping, eating, doing all sorts of things, and it's always so nice to get a notification on my phone to say, hey, remember August 9, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'll show her, and she's like, I looked like that. it's just nice seeing her expression, or just being able, especially like So, for example, I don't really have a lot of down days when I feel sad, but sometimes you just need that pick me up, and I'll get like a notification and I'll see a photo or a video from back then where we may have just randomly decided to go to the beach or the river or by the pool, and we just had such a beautiful moment. So, it's important to me because it reminds you of how fulfilling your life is and all the things that you can be grateful for.
Awesome. So, we just want to plug in Little Memories again because remember, Memories and Motherhood is brought to you by Little Memories JA. So, if you want to capture your own memories, then you can use the code MOMENTS10 to unlock a 10% discount from Little Memories JA for your first or returning photo shoot. So, Stacy, one last thing before we end this interview. What would you say is your number one mom hack? Maybe it's something that worked for you. I mean, you already mentioned asking for help, which is super important. But what would you say is a mom hack that you can share with our listeners and viewers?
The first thing that comes to mind is just spend time with your kids and genuinely enjoy being around them. And I'll share this too because before I came here, I was thinking about this. I need to find a way to tie this in. I have a male friend that I always say, when are you going to get a child? Because you're going up in age, when are you going to get a child? And he's always saying to me, you know, the difference between you and a lot of females that I meet, this is him saying it. This is the difference between you and other females that I meet is you genuinely enjoy being a mom. You didn't become a mom because your partner wanted a child. You didn't become a mom because society tell you so you need to become a mom. You genuinely enjoy being a mom. I don't have moments where I feel like I necessarily need a break from my kids because I spend basically 24/7 with them. And I think spending more time with your children genuinely helps you to understand them and them to understand you. Which is why I said they get, just like how I can know when Micah wants to sleep, he at 1 knows when mommy is tired and will take a nap with me. So spend more time with them. A lot of times, we feel overwhelmed and we want to push them away. It's okay to take a break once in a while when you're feeling overwhelmed. As a matter of fact, I would recommend that because you don't want to be overwhelmed and around your child. I have had moments where maybe I raise my voice and I feel bad about it after and don't think that they can't understand your emotions. There have been times where in the past that I've raised my voice at Abril and I've had to go back to her and apologize.
Yes.
And I say, Abril, it's not your fault and I don't want you to feel as if you're responsible for making me angry. And I share in as childlike a way or child-friendly a way as I can what I'm experiencing. I say, well, this happened and I'm very frustrated with it. And I just need some time to unwind and just process it. Because right now I feel a lot of anger, but just know it's not directed at you. And just give me a little moment and I'll hug her and I'll kiss her. And as a result, sometimes she'll come to me or I'll see her acting a certain way. And I say, why are you acting like that way, man? She say, I was playing Roblox and I crashed out.
Yeah.
And I feel upset. And I said, oh, it's not intended.
Yeah.
It's not directed at me. So spend time with each other, understand their emotions, respect their emotions. Not because they're in Jamaica, they say children should be seen and not heard. But it's not that you're necessarily making your child your best friend, but your child is a human being. They have human emotions, and just like how you want to be understood, just like how you put up the effort to understand your partner, your child is going through 1,000,001 things, and they're learning things, and it's important for you to remember, even when you were a child, I remember my first day at school, how my heart, I don't know this feeling, I was so nervous.
Yes.
So the emotions are there. Learn to love them and allow them to love you for who you are. and for who they are.
Amen. That was a long mouth hack, but we receive it because that was so important. That's such an important point that you, and that's a lot of points, but that is so important. So Stacy, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. I remember when I reached out to you and I said, nobody look like you need to come on the podcast. You're that girl I thought you'd never ask.
I was going to message you. I was going to like, you want to come?
But thank you so much for coming and joining us today. It was a pleasure having you. And from another mom to a mom, I just want to wish you all the best on your journey. You know, I pray for a very safe delivery. Hi, Stacy. How are you?
I'm good, tired, but I'm good.
I know. I mean, you're in a whole different sphere of life right now. But thank you so much for, agreeing to come back a second time. And it was a totally different time when we met before. And you have a
Way different.
different story now. I mean, anything right now, is it anything like what you imagined that you would be experiencing?
No.
No, Stacy. Last time we spoke, we talked about you before having your third child. So you already have Abriel, who is 11, right? And we have Micah, who is 18 months. And we have now little Malachi, who is he almost 2 months now?
A little over a month.
A little over a month. Okay. So how has life been with three, especially two under two?
Oh my gosh, it's been. I'm just realizing now that it's exhausting.
Wow. I can
Because I
imagine.
guess because of everything that has happened, the adrenaline was kicking, and I think it's now wearing off. So all of that tiredness, the sleeplessness that I had, that I thought I was getting through, it's on me now.
Yeah.
Especially having a 1 year old, 18-month old who is used to having the attention, not understanding that, hey, yes, it's you want your nap time and you're used to cuddling mommy, but mommy has to breastfeed, and he's throwing tantrums from time to time. But I think I figured it out. I just broke my hand, so he doesn't necessarily want the attention. He just wants the comfort of an arm.
He just
So I
wants
have
to
to
be
be
close to you.
yeah. So I have to be breastfeeding while I'm holding him so that he can fall asleep. But
Yeah. So last time we spoke, you said that your main concern, or one of the main things you were thinking about, was whether you would have to be breastfeeding both of them because you don't know if Micah would want to breastfeed again. How is that going?
he doesn't want it.
Okay.
What he does is a little trickery from time to time when he sees me breastfeeding the baby a lot. Him come and him put him mouth over my breast, so. And then he give me a look and him smile and he's like,
Yeah.
him shake him and I say,
Yeah.
So he's not taking it at all.
Right.
But once him see you take out food,
Mm-hmm.
him want it.
He wants the food. That's good. That's good. So he definitely has an appetite. So Stacy, talking about your birth story, let's just drop a little bit on that because you were a C-section mom before, right? So with Abriel though, was it a C-section or okay? So Abriel was natural birth, then Michael was a C-section, and then you got your VBAC because little Malachi came naturally because you were scheduled for a C-section, right?
Yes, I was scheduled for a C-section 4 days after
Wow.
I gave birth. So he came early, 10 days earlier than his due date.
Yes, yes. So what was that like? What was that experience?
I mean, I was here and we were actually supposed to go to the beach. Because that was a Sunday and I was scheduled for the C-section, I think the Thursday. And I started feeling some cramping.
Yeah.
But I was like, I've been feeling a little cramping from time to time. And then I told my husband, I said, I feel a little, I don't know why out of nowhere, I was like, I feel a little tired. And that's not like me because we love beach. And then the pain started coming a lot harder and closer together. And I said, before that, I said, babe, we can just go. I'll stay and rest. Take Micah, and go, and I'll be here. He said, no, I'm not leaving you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing I know, I don't know that app I start calculating. As I
Yeah.
said, babe, the baby is
Yeah. So
coming.
time in the
Come out, I
contractions.
sat in the car. This
Mm-hmm.
man, it's like the typical movie
Yeah.
where you see the woman in the car and she's, and he's in the house taking up everything, and I'm like, babe, the baby, I come. And the hospital is actually walking distance.
Okay.
Because I was even saying that to him, I was like, babe, if the baby come, I can just walk the hospital. Because you can look at the
Yeah.
hospital from
Yes.
here. So he brought me to the hospital, and then a porter came out
Mm-hmm.
with the
The bed.
the
Mm-hmm.
no
Oh,
man
the
vehicle, the
wheelchair.
wheelchair,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
pushed me down there, and the nurses were so amazing. I have to give a shout out
Mm-hmm.
to the Falmouth Hospital
Yes.
maternity
Yes.
ward.
Yes.
I've always had a good experience, well, great experience with them.
Yeah.
But I think this time around, I don't know what it was about it.
Mm-hmm.
Them really,
Yeah. They were on their A
really
game. Mm-hmm.
on point.
Yes.
She took me in and they were like, Missy, at 3 centimeters. And I said, really?
Wow.
And the doctor came in and said, okay, I understand that you had a C-section before, but do you want to try and push? No, I never really planned to do a vaginal birth
Mm-hmm.
because my husband has a scheduled paternity leave.
Okay.
So if I go and do that now, I'll have less time to.
Yeah.
So honestly, in my mind, the recovery between each, for me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yes, the sting and everything, but never really matter.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was praying um in the midst of it all, and I said, God, I feel like something is coming, because before Melissa came, I just felt like this looming shadow over me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was, but
Wow.
it's like God is saying something is coming and it's going to be big and it might shake
Mm,
you. So
mm,
in that moment, I said, God, I remember you've been giving me this feeling. I don't know why,
mm-hmm,
but if it's a case where I'm to do the vaginal birth,
mm-hmm.
I'll do it.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know why you're giving me this right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll do the vaginal birth. The doctor came back and said, all right, you sure you want to? I said, you know what? Either way is fine.
Mm-hmm.
He said, all right, we're going to do the C-section for you. Funny enough, they came back and said, you can't do the C-section because now we have, so they scheduled me for it, and then we have an emergency in the theater. We can't do it.
Wow.
So I still ended up having to do it, even though they scheduled it.
Mm-hmm.
Within a few hours, I gave birth to him. I have an irregular, I don't know what you would call it, the pelvic
Mm-hmm.
bone.
Mm-hmm.
Two doctors helped me deliver.
Ooh,
Yeah,
wow.
two. They were in there, and there weren't really a lot of people giving birth at the
Mm-hmm.
time. So two of them helped me give birth with another nurse,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't even. The nurses were like, "You only can put one name on the paper to say which doctor delivered."
Oh.
And I was out the following day,
Mm-hmm.
following evening. Yeah, and there was a little sad moment there as well, because there was a nurse that was there when I gave birth to Micah,
Mm-hmm.
and she was really sweet to me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went back, I saw they had a
Wow.
memorial plaque for her
Yeah, so
there.
she
She got
died.
sick and died
Wow.
sadly, so that was a little damper.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, it was a really,
Good
it was a good
experience. That's
experience.
good. I'm so like when you text me and tell me that you had the baby in a child, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Like me happy for you because I know that, especially thinking about a recovery from a C-section, especially with having a baby
Mhm.
that's a toddler, it would really, challenge you in a lot
Mhm.
of ways. But let's get to the challenge that you never even
Mhm.
plan, think about that are wanted, anybody would have
Mhm.
wanted this. Now, a month after Malachi was born, then came
Well,
Hurricane
it was
Melissa.
actually I think he was like 2 weeks, two
Two
and a
weeks
half
old.
weeks, because he
Wow.
came on the 5th.
Yeah, he came
Yeah,
on
it
the 5th
wasn't it
of
wasn't a month
October.
yet.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
So Malachi was born on the 5th of October and the hurricane came on the 28th of
Mhm.
October. What was that like for you?
Um, my husband is my superhero. So
Big up
because
husband.
I was here, and
Mm-hmm.
thankfully at that time I wasn't exhausted,
Yeah.
because he loves babies and
Mm-hmm.
he works with babies a lot as well. So he's the one who's always taking naps with them, making sure that I get rest.
Yeah.
He'll just say, babe, pump, and he'll have formula on hand in the event that there's an emergency. And
Right.
I'm like, well, the
Right.
fridge was full with breast milk. So
Mhm.
Malachi was fine. On the day of the hurricane, we were in here, and I was looking out the window. I'm like, baby, sure the place not got flooding. He said, calm down, nothing not happen. I said,
Mhm.
every time I go to the window, come, I said, baby, the water there get kind
Yeah.
of.
And
It wasn't
this is
raising
while the hurricane
while
are
the
gone.
hurricane is
Yeah.
going on. It wasn't really high.
Mhm.
It was just the road, and it wasn't like ankle. I
Mhm.
said, babe, I don't know something. I just feel like
Yeah.
I was. He was. I think he was sitting in the couch with the baby, and I had Malak I had my boy didn't
Yeah. The
name them too
name
close
and the
enough.
name them.
I had Micah,
Mhm.
and I was reading my Bible, and then I got up, and I don't remember. We were just in the living room. I just hear one thing fly off of the roof.
Mm.
I would turn to my husband and say, babe, I think that's enough. He say,
Mhm.
yeah, I know. Him say, we're going to have to leave.
Mhm.
And we packed up our stuff. Well, I had stuff packed already,
Mhm.
but there were a few stuff because I only packed really for the kids.
Yeah. You
Me
never even
me
think
not
of
really think
yourself.
about myself.
Yeah.
I really just packed for the kids, and then I had like a white bag with underwear
Mhm.
and like one shirt and
Yeah.
pants to
Yeah.
myself. So we gathered a few more stuff, and then he came out. I saw me see the car I go in
Mm-mm.
another hurricane. We came
So you
out.
drove. Oh,
Yeah,
meaning the car
the car was
even
parked and
yeah, yeah,
moving,
wow.
and we're in there waiting, and more zinc flying
Mhm.
off. And he came out, put the stuff in the car. I
Mhm.
never even remember my camera equipment. He was the
Mhm.
one who took it. I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking about that. He took it up, put it in a bag, put everything in the car, and he put Micah in the car, and then he came back for me. I had the
Mhm.
baby wrapped in the wrap thing,
Yeah. Like
because
a
I say
carry like a
I
mhm.
was having dreams leading up to the hurricane,
Yeah.
thinking, boy, if we ever out a door, the hurricane go blowing my baby out of
Oh
my
my
hand. So
god.
I wrapped him up. We went into the car and we drove over to
Mhm.
my aunt's house. And, he opened the gate. We rushed in, and her shingles were coming off of her roof
Boy.
too. So, yeah, but I had to cuddle the two of them. They were
Mhm.
fine.
Mhm.
They weren't really understanding what were
Mhm.
happening, but they
Mhm.
weren't scared.
Yeah.
So I just had to hold them while the place was, seeing the real floods. I don't
Mhm.
want to use the term flooding out,
Yeah.
but the house was getting
Yeah,
wet.
listen, flood or flood, no
Well,
matter
true.
the grade of it. But what about Ariel? What was her reaction in the moment?
Abriel wasn't with me at the time, and
Okay.
that's actually something that I always said prior to.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever watched the movie San Andreas.
Mhm.
That gave me a fear, one of my biggest fears.
Yeah.
Having a big natural disaster or
Yes.
one of those devastating experiences
Mhm.
when my child is not around me.
Near.
And
Yeah.
it was so horrifying, not knowing
What's happening with
what's happening
her?
with her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know her dad would give his life for
Mhm.
her.
Mhm.
So I know that at the back of my mind, I'm like, she's fine. I know that whatever he's going to try his
Yeah.
best to make sure that she's good,
Mhm.
she's fine. But afterward, as the days went on and no cell service, not being able to contact her,
Mhm.
I was anxious, and I know that even if it was her, well, with her, she would be anxious to worrying about me here. So
Yeah.
when we ended up borrowing a car, getting some gas, going to get her, and then when I finally saw her and she saw me, it was like you could feel the weight lifting off, and she
Wow.
was like, mommy, I was so worried. Her
Wow.
dad and his partner were like, yes, she was really worried about
Mhm.
you. And I said, well, I'm okay. We're all okay.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. So, what was it like for I mean, like everything happening and all of that, and you, as you said, your house got a lot of damage and
Mhm.
all of that, and I know that you launched a GoFundMe.
Mhm.
Since then, what is the recovery, the road to recovery like for you right now?
Well, thank you to everyone who has so far helped with the GoFundMe. It has really helped a lot.
Yeah.
My husband was the one who actually rebuilt our roof, so the GoFundMe was really to get funds to put our house in a living situation,
Mhm.
and then also to get the, because we have to get the place rewired before GPS
Even
reconnects.
yeah.
We have to redo the roof professionally, and professionally I mean, like, it makes no sense you build something for another hurricane to come
Yeah,
and knock it
yeah.
down. So those are the main things that we're focusing on now. The window is broken.
Mhm.
We're going to have to dump the property in such a way where it's, because when I this is my childhood home,
Mhm.
and when I used to live here there weren't all these houses around and all that,
Yeah.
so I guess that contributed to the flooding, because I've
Mhm.
never experienced flooding here before. But yeah, we have the roof back, and we had an electrician come and assess the property to come back, give us a quote, and see how soon he can start working on it, because JPS is moving really fast.
Mhm.
And we also had someone to come and assess the roof to figure out what is going to be done going forward. So we're on the track there. I still can't get in touch with the window guy. I
Mhm.
mean, I could always use somebody else, but
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
he's really good with his business, and he's
Mhm.
really speedy. So as soon as I can get in touch with him, I can get a quote from him as well to figure out how to fix the window. As
Yeah.
it relates to furniture and stuff, honestly, that's at the least. I
Mhm.
have a roof over my head.
Yeah, that's the most
I don't
important
know what
thing.
appliances are working from what aren't right
Mhm.
now, but it's become the new normal
Mhm.
now, where water come back once in a while, we wash the
Mhm.
baby clothes, and we have a little igloo. Once in a while we can put ice in there and stuff. But yeah, we're good.
Yeah. I'm so happy to hear that you are good. And let me tell you, your positivity and the fact that overall your personality, it really helps
Thank
in a
you.
time like this, because I know, especially with two babies, basically, that it can be really tough in a time like this. So, Stacy, I don't have a lot more questions for you, because I really would want to know though. We, our first conversation was really about having back-to-back pregnancies,
Mm-hmm.
and the good thing is that your delivery really helped with offsetting most of the challenges that you would even face in your
Mm-hmm.
postpartum stage. Now, how is postpartum going for you overall, and how is it like? Would you recommend having two children back to back any at all to somebody?
I would.
Mhm.
I actually looked at my husband the other day. We went to the beach, and it was just such a beautiful family moment. And I
Mhm.
said, I'm ready for the next one.
You
I'm
not
ready for the
waste
fourth.
time.
I'm ready for the fourth.
Mhm.
I don't know. The biggest issue for me
Mhm.
is the lack of water, because I did get stitches.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to really do my sitz
Oh yeah,
baths and
yeah.
stuff. So for me personally, and because of all the stress that my body is experiencing,
Mm.
I don't think I'm healing
As you
as
should.
I should.
Mhm.
And in terms of nutrients, because of the lack of light and all of that, and on one hand, I want to go and buy food. Two, food places aren't open.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily go out and buy chicken and say I'm going to cook it, because I don't have a refrigerator
Yeah.
working right
Yeah.
now. So in terms of nutrients, I think, honestly, I think I'm lacking. Um, but I had gotten a gift basket from Lasco
Yeah. Mhm.
a few months ago, and I just realized that they had given some vitamins, some what is it, pregnant care.
Prenatal or
Yeah,
something
some
like that.
prenatal. So
Okay,
I
that's
saw it
smart.
last night when I was cleaning, and I was like,
Mhm.
I think it's probably good if I take
Girl, in my
this.
mind, I was just about to say after the interview, my God said to you, say maybe you should take some prenatals like
Yeah.
seriously.
So I started
Mhm.
taking it last night, because the dieting is not
Yeah.
what it should be.
Yeah,
I
I can
can't tell you that
understand.
some days I get up and I don't eat breakfast. Some
Mhm.
days, um,
And you're still breastfeeding,
I
or you
still
are
I
breastfeeding.
still
Mhm.
breastfeed,
Mhm.
but because so breastfeed does not hold these
Yeah,
babies.
yeah.
And because of the hurricane, so we had to get to the formula,
Mhm.
because in fixing up the house and everything, we had to clean a lot, and I
Yeah.
couldn't just leave it up to my husband alone.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
yes, he would probably not
Mm-hmm.
just leave and let do it on his own. But
Yeah.
I said, let me come, and we were here. My daughter was here with us, and what I did, I just say, Abri, just keep the kids in this room. I clean out one room
Mm-hmm.
and have them in there, and I say, just call me when the baby cries. I'll
Yeah.
come and do what I need to do. And even that was very strenuous because newborns are a little needy. That's
Mm-hmm.
in a bad way, but they're a
Mm-hmm.
little needy. This is a baby that's very different from the ones that I've had before. I For each child I have, may I say, him crave me, man. This one, oh my God, him
His
eat
cheeks are so
round the
chunky.
clock. He's constantly eating. He
Yeah.
cries when he's hungry. He cries when he wants to sleep. He
Mm-hmm.
cries when his diaper needs to. I never
Yeah.
experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had smooth newborn experiences, so
Yeah.
this is a little new. And I said, God, why you decide to send me this one? No, of all times.
Yeah.
But we were able to clean up the house, and I have
So
a
guys, you will hear all the noises in the background. We are in, like the country.
yeah,
Well,
man.
not the
If you see
country, but
a pig walk by, don't say anything.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. And a friend of mine, she came up from Mobay,
Mm-hmm.
even when guest was her. Shout out to Tanisha. She's
Mm-hmm.
actually also a mom of three.
Awesome.
She came and she was the one who cleaned out
Mm-hmm.
Abriel's room.
Oh, that's good.
So the house is not 100% no, but we're here. And, this morning I even because there was a lot to be clean in the room as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like clothes were still
Mm-hmm.
around and stuff. And I said to Abriel, I said, boy, the house not really look chic or bougie. And she's like, Mommy, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're happy.
Thank
I'm not
God.
crying.
Thank
But she
God.
said it to me, and I was like, oh, because I
Yeah.
want them to be comfortable. But the fact that she can say that to me,
Yeah.
even though all of this is happening,
Mm-hmm.
she said, because last night when we went to bed, I was like, something to ask her. I said, are you comfortable? She said, not really. And I said, she can't tell me why.
Mm-hmm.
By the morning, she said, Mommy, I'm comfortable now because they clean the room.
Oh,
So
so
it's been
good.
rough. I haven't had any sleep. My husband is not here anymore, but I do have
Yeah.
my mommy.
Thank God.
She's
Mm-hmm.
helping out a lot, and she came. She did the baby's laundry. She did
Mm-hmm.
laundry for Micah. She did laundry for Malachi and Abriel. She left
Mm-hmm.
my clothes, so me to wash it. But
Good.
it's still helpful. She even
Yes.
wash my husband's clothes.
Thank God.
So I just mean
For
we
a
shouldn't be.
village.
Mothers not visible them when they have grandkids. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have the support. It's just I really not even the lights. I can
Mm-hmm.
live without the electricity.
But
I
water.
just need the water.
Yeah.
I want to be able to bathe my children properly, to do my sitz baths and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Stacy, let me tell you, girl, I really admire your tenacity and your resilience in a time
Thank
like this.
you.
And I do wish you all the very best, especially with the fourth when it kind of out.
Soon, soon.
But thanks once again for joining us. I will be leaving the link for Stacy's GoFundMe in our description. And we really hope that you can support her along her journey of recovery. Once again, thank you for joining us as well. And we hope this was a great story because, I mean, a lot of people have stories, but this was not just a story of, oh, we had to run out in the middle of the storm. This is a story of true recovery and resilience. So thanks once again. And we hope to see you on the next